Of course, we're starting with the watch. Counterclaims. It's what we're talking about this week. It doesn't have anything to do with lunch counters. A counterclaim is the opposite or alternative claim. So you might have the side that you believe, but the counterclaim could be the exact opposite or just something that's alternative. It's not on the side that you are on. This has been our year in humanity seminar. So starting, they say, and kind of what you think, but now, how do I convince others? And in your workplace, in school, you can't work with diverse colleagues who don't necessarily agree with you and be able to convince them what's the right thing to do that's committed to justice if you don't have the tools to address the counterclaims. What do they think? Here's a little example. We'll just talk about who has the better French fries. So on one side of the argument, Chick-fil-A has the best French fries. While on the other side, right, an opposite claim is In-N-Out Burger has the best French fries. So some people say Chick-fil-A has the best French fries. However, In-N-Out has the best fries because they're made with fresh potatoes. Let's try another one. We could talk about the U.S. women's national team, my girl Alex Morgan, go Bears, versus the men's national team. So some people say that the U.S. women's national team should get paid equally as the U.S. men's national team because it is a discrimination if they are not under Title IX. However, the men's U.S. national team, right, is bigger, faster, stronger, and would beat the women's team head-to-head, would be an opposite alternative claim. Now, there's currently a lawsuit going on about whether the women should get paid equally. And in that lawsuit, the U.S. Soccer Federation actually argued that the men should get paid more because they're bigger, faster, and stronger. I hope you also find that ridiculous. So we don't have to say it like that. We can flip it the other way, where we say some people say that the U.S. men's national team, right, should get paid more because they play against better competition like Argentina and Brazil. However, the U.S. women's national team has won 4 World Cups, while the men's team didn't even make the World Cup most recently. So what do you believe? Right? That's kind of what we coming down to, but we need to address the opposite or alternative claim. So I'm not saying that first or second is the counterclaim, right? But I'm going to say that where we put what you believe is actually second, and what an opposite or alternative claim, we're going to put those first. So some people say that, others believe that. On the one hand, some say that. These are different ways that you can start addressing the counterclaim, the opposite or alternative claim. Put a because, so you can add your claim and should put some evidence. However, put a paragraph space to organize yours to show that, hey, now we're changing the sides. And then you could use however, or actually, or in truth. Put what you really believe. Because, include the claim, and then include some evidence. So let's try it. Chocolate ice cream. Is it the best flavor? For this case, we're going to say it's not the best flavor. You can use this evidence down at the bottom if you would like. But if you don't think it's the best flavor, where's it going to go? Left to the right. We're not just talking about chocolate ice cream. We're not just talking about we're not just talking about other things, right? We're talking about voter ID laws and whether that's fair. So there's kind of 2 sides to this argument. You don't need to come up with them because they're provided here. So you could say that voter ID laws protect the fairness of elections, or voter ID laws prevent individuals from exercising their right to vote. This really comes down to whether your vote counts or not. Bringing it to the ballot and making sure that everyone has these acceptable forms of ID, right, can be about protecting the fairness of elections. And also, right, what reading from Carol Anderson and One Person, No Vote, she believes that voter ID laws prevent individuals from exercising their right to vote. Notice in this chart here, right, there's 25% of blacks, 20% of Asians, 18% of 18 to 24-year-olds who don't already have these required voter ID the required voter IDs, which can make them not able to vote, right? So do they have the right to vote? Does everyone have the right to vote? And if they do, then maybe these voter ID laws that are being enacted in Wisconsin and other states are preventing individuals from exercising their right to vote. So what's it look like when you write it on Slack? What do you believe? If you believe that voter ID laws prevent individuals from exercising their right to vote, put it second. And start with, some people say that voter ID protect the fairness of election and include some evidence. But if that's not what you believe, flip it. Notice how the words at the beginning change, the however or the some people say, but what you believe should go second. And we got our paragraph marker to show that we're spacing it out. So what does that look like on Slack? Notice the language at the beginning about the U.S. men's national team. Some people say, however, the U.S. women's national team. And we got this nice, beautiful space to show that we have two paragraphs, that we have both sides of the argument. So how do you do that? You got to press Shift and Enter. Shift plus Enter to create paragraphs, because if you just press Enter, it's just going to post it right away. And you'll be like, oh, no, I screwed up. But then there's still an ability to edit. If you press on the top right around here, there should be ability to edit post if you make that mistake. But hit Shift plus Enter to create paragraph. An opposite or alternative claim. You can't convince people unless you're addressing what are their side of the argument, and then really tell them why your side is the right one and should convince them.